Welcome to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, a podcast where we teach speakers how to land paid speaking engagements and corporate contracts. Each week, we deliver high-quality content that teaches you how to level up your speaking business. Be sure to join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group after having your mind blown by this information-filled episode. Now, here's your host, Ashley Kirkwood, lawyer and professional speaker. This is the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. We are here today streaming live in the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. So if you're listening, you're missing out on the visual, but go to the group, join the group, and you can catch up on the visuals as well. But we have Audria Richmond, marketing strategist and launch specialist here with us. She's a guru in all things marketing. She's also a speaker and has been featured in various publications as well. So Audria, welcome.
What up? Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. So how would you describe yourself? For those who are just joining, who maybe have not heard of you and your uncloned brand, how would you describe what you do?
I tell people all the time, like, I'm the person you come to when you want to make money, like want to monetize your ideas and like put them out there in a big way. Even though you may be a small company, sometimes I deal with a lot of people who are like small businesses and they feel like, oh, what you do is for big companies. I'm like, no, let me show you how to make this work as a small business. So I'm the person you come to when you want to market and sell and promote your ideas, products, and services.
Perfect. And how has speaking played a role in your business? I've read your book, The Uncloned Marketing book, and I also have the other one as well. Are you ready for the yes?
Yes.
But how has speaking played a role in your business?
It has played a huge role. And I think one of the things that I guess you could say I advocate for that a lot of people don't advocate for is virtual speaking. I feel like I've built a huge platform virtually speaking, even if it's not on a platform like this where you and I are like, you know, talking and having a conversation, but like, you know, hosting your own live streams, doing your own webinars, doing your own master classes, all of those things in my mind categorized as speaking. And I feel like my speaking platform has strengthened as I do it more often because my message gets better, how I want to articulate things get better, and your personality gets better as well.
Yes, it does. And you get more comfortable on stage.
Yes.
So I'm just getting through the Are You Ready for the Yes book. And you mentioned in that book that when you first started speaking, you were a little nervous.
Yes.
How did you get started with speaking and what was the goal? Because in Speak Your Way to Cash, we talk a lot about speaking, you know, to promote your brand, speaking to sell, so selling from the stage, then also getting paid 4 and 5 figures to speak. So what was your goal when you started speaking originally, and how did you get started initially?
So when I first got started speaking, I actually got thrown into speaking. I was selling juice at the time. And during that time when I was selling the juice, I met a first lady of a church, and she was having a women's conference. And she was like, oh, my God, I love your story about your juicing company and how you got it started. And it looks like you teach people how to build brands. We just got to have you at our conference. And I kind of got thrown into it. And I think for me, when I first got the opportunity to speak, I was so afraid of what to say. I instantly thought of all of the most professional speakers on the planet. And I was just like, you know, I went into shock mode because I'm just like, how in the world am I supposed to be compared to Barack Obama speaking?
Right,
I thought I was a little baby Martin Luther King. And I'm just like, how do you actually go and speak in a way that's authentic to yourself? And I think what allowed me to be comfortable with that first speaking opportunity is to really get to a point where I knew, like, okay, girl, just be yourself. That's literally what I told myself, because I had prepared like notes and had cards and everything. And I realized that just tell it like it is. And that's when it just really felt natural. And it ended up being really, really good.
Okay, great. One of the most common questions that I get, and for those of you who don't know, Audria will be speaking at the Speak Your Way to Cash 2-day virtual retreat / mastermind session. And the thing about it is everyone who attends will get a copy of her book, but you may want to also pre-order it so that you get it as soon as possible. But everyone will get a copy of their book in their welcome box, which is something she talks about in the book. Make sure you have great experiences. You talk a little bit about finding these engagements and how you pitch them. Can you tell people a little bit about that? Because that is, it's the number one question I get. I don't think it's the hardest thing, but everyone always asks, where do you find engagement? So when you were first getting started, where did you find engagements?
I found my first initial engagements from people. I'm well connected with a lot of entrepreneurs. So their events kind of became my speaking platforms and the first opportunity for me to speak, people who are hosting events. But then when I wanted to go outside of my network, I would go to places like Eventbrite, Facebook events. What else did I go to? Surprisingly, you can find some really cool events on meetup.com. I started to look up different organizations, looking to see if they had any events and things like that. But for the most part, a lot of those events came from Eventbrite, Facebook events. Facebook events be popping, because the cool thing about Facebook events, you can do this with Eventbrite too, but you can, on Facebook events, you can change your city. Because typically when you go to Facebook events, they only show you what's within where you live. Yeah. But if you put in a particular city, you can see all of the events. And if you really like courageous, you could type in a different country and see all of the different events that are happening. So yeah.
Well, that's really unique, because we've talked about Eventbrite before. We've talked about, hey, Sharon, hey, Crystal. We've talked about some of those things, but we don't really talk about, or I've never spoken about, Facebook events. Yes. And I think for a lot of people, you have to know the type of event you're looking for. So if you have a service or a product to sell to entrepreneurs, they're going to put that event on Facebook.
Yes,
absolutely. It's a phenomenal platform once you get there. Do you do any corporate speaking as well?
Have I done any corporate speaking? No. I've done a lot of speaking on like conferences and retreats and stuff like that, but nothing corporate as of now. I'm on my way though. I'm on my way.
Yes, you are. You're prime for corporate speaking. Yes. Especially now that brands are trying to get uncloned, as you will. They're trying to do things that are different, and they don't have a choice but to do things virtually. And a lot of, even so recently, I was talking to someone who wants me to speak to their executive board. And they're like, okay, so what you got? You got Zoom? I mean, how are we gonna make this happen? And there are, like, old school companies are now figuring out, okay, we have to have presenters speak on Zoom. And what they don't realize is a speaker who can do excellent in person may have no experience presenting virtually, may not be able to engage an audience virtually. So what are some tips you have? Because you're excellent virtually. So we'll do tips and tools. What are some tips you have for speaking virtually? And then what are the tools that make it better? Because your video now looks amazing. Everything, the setup looks great.
So I literally treat my home office as a platform. So for instance, I have to have a really good webcam because I need people to be able to actually see me. I also have a 3-point lighting setup. So I used to be a photographer. So I have a lot of my equipment from being a photographer. So, that's one of my vantage points. Also, a lot of the times when I speak, people think that this is a green screen, and it's not. It's actually a paper backdrop. It's a seamless backdrop paper. You can get them in various colors. I got this one from B&H Photo. So that would be like my setup. I'm also wearing a lavalier mic. It's no different than what you would wear if you were speaking on stage. Same setup. I'm just sitting in in a computer chair, right? That's the only difference. Is that I'm sitting instead of standing. Huh?
Your camera, is that clear from a webcam?
This is a webcam. Yep.
What webcam is this?
This is a Logitech C920. I think that they discontinued it and they came out with a newer version, but for the most part, that's what I'm using. But as far as tips, I always tell people that whether you're speaking to, 20 people on a live stream, you can also, I always treat the same platform as if I was speaking in a stage for 20,000 people. And the reason for that is because the content can be repurposed and reused and chopped up into different things. It's no different than what you would do with your speaker reel, where you take that and start, chopping it up and all of that good stuff. The only difference is you at your crib, chilling.
Right. That's true.
Yeah,
that is so true. And you can still engage with people and ask them to post things in the comments. So I love all of that. All of that was really, really, really good. Now you're a marketing strategist. So I would be remiss if we did not talk about marketing.
Yes.
As a speaker, as a new speaker, one of the things that I see is the branding. You can get overwhelmed when it comes to the visuals and the graphics and how things look and how things are supposed to be set up. What are some creative things you did in pitching the virtual engagement that you think would really did work to help get you in front of those decision makers?
For starters, I like to do video pitching. They have tools like BumBum where you can say, hey, my name is Audria. It looks like you have an event coming up. I would love to come and speak on da-da-da-da-da. And that ended up working as well. Also, I think a lot of people think that mail is old school. You can start sending stuff in the mail, even if it's for something virtual. People are so, people are sick and tired of email. Like it's one of those things we dread every single day. So if you can figure out a way, if you are going to do an email, if I see an email and you can see motion and graphics going on, you like, whoa, what is this? Versus a standard email, you're probably going to be more intrigued to see that video based type email. Right. But on the flip side, most people are not getting mail, physical mail in the mail. So if you can send a pitch promo or a video promo of yourself in the mail, that's already putting you on a whole nother level, because most people are doing email because it's cheap and easy. So I feel like anytime you go the extra mile, you can win easily. Actually, like literally, you could just go 2 more steps to the right and you already winning more than most people.
Yes, that's 100% true. And what I loved about what you said in the book was you challenged your readers to think creatively. Yes. So it wasn't just like, okay, listen to all these great ideas that I've had and what I've done, and this is what you should do. It was, okay, you take a walk and think about being creative in your marketing. You watch the movie and think about what you can do and how you can get inspired from that. And I really appreciate that, because even one of the reasons why I left traditional law practice was I was so bored with how old everything was. I mean, the way that you hire, the way that you dress, the way that you service clients, it was all very mundane, very linear, not a lot of innovation at all. So coming into being an entrepreneur, that's one of the beauties of it. We can think creatively with how we serve our clients. We can send people popcorn and customize it and do some creative things for their event. So I really love what you said about that there.
Yes.
So in terms of marketing for speakers and on developing, because if you're a new speaker, which a lot of the speakers that listen, they're new and or have not made their first $50,000 from speaking. When you're at that point, you don't have a huge budget, but you want to look like you have a huge budget. So what were some things that you would recommend to that audience? They want to do it right. They want to be uncloned. They want to have great graphics. But they don't have a huge budget. If they only had, let's say, $500 to invest, how would you recommend in your expertise to invest that in marketing?
If you only have $500, I would probably spend 20% on paid ads. And the reason for that is because no matter what kind of marketing you do, you want to get in front of new people, period. Because I have this thing that I tell my clients all the time, which is audience fatigue. People always say, people ain't buying my stuff. Well, you're constantly marketing to the same people, selling the same thing, and you're not even changing up the message or the graphics. And so eventually they're just going to start ignoring you and not pay you any mind. So I feel like even if you had a very small budget, a percentage of that should always be to get in front of a brand new group of people who have never seen you or what it is that you do. Also, if you only had $500, let's see what the most you can do organically. A lot of the times we're not even executing on the greatest capacity organically. Maybe that means you need to post more. Maybe you need to utilize other features on different platforms, like maybe go live more. Maybe you need to actually do something fun. You know, instead of, if you always post images, maybe start posting video. If you always post video, maybe start posting audio. I think what marketing lacks, in my opinion, is diversity. I see a lot of people doing the same thing over and over and over every single lunch. You know, if they do a 3-part video series to lunch, they're going to do the same 3-part video series for 15 years later. And I'm just like, you're boring. You're boring. Yeah. For you. There's people that I used to follow like back in the day that I just stopped following, because even if you look at their marketing today, it's the exact same thing. And, you know, me personally, I kind of go against this whole, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I disagree with that. If it ain't broke, why not reinvent it? I think we have to get to a point where we're cool with what my brand is about, being uncloned, challenging the norms, doing things that people hadn't seen or not used to. Anytime that you do something new, you are pattern disrupting, meaning you're having an opportunity to disrupt what people are used to seeing. That's why when we see crazy stuff in the news, we get so excited, we share it, it goes viral, because it's new, it's fresh, we're not used to seeing it. So if you can figure out like, hey, what can I do that people are not used to seeing? You already winning just by default.
That's great. And I hope you guys are taking notes on that. She said 20% on ads and then blow up your organic marketing. That's critical. And I could imagine there is a speaker, because I know my audience so well. There's a speaker who's watching this and saying, there's no way I can use ads as a speaker. I am targeting colleges. Ads won't work. What would you say to that person?
I mean, it depends. Obviously, it depends on who you're going to target. But those people are also chilling on Instagram and Facebook.
They
just
are.
like on their downtime, right? You might be a corporate speaker, but I'm quite sure you're on social media talking to your friend, telling them different things, period, right? So those people, those decision makers are on social media, but maybe you need to take a different angle. Maybe instead of putting that money on advertising, maybe you get you a nice VA who can send out customized pitches, video pitches, or something unique in the mail. So I feel like that money can still be used for something. So the 20% may not necessarily go for paid ads, especially if you're targeting colleges. Yet you could do something creative where you get the college students to get you voted in and bring you in and rally you up. So there's a lot of cool creative angles that you can take that will still ultimately get to the decision maker.
Yes. And I love what you said about bringing in college students. And a word on that, guys, typically for state universities, which I found they're the only ones that have had really my budget. A few private universities have, but it's not the way budgets work in colleges. You would think that maybe the highest ranked school would have the biggest budget for speakers. That's not the case, because think about it. Harvard's alum are celebrities. So they don't necessarily have the same budget for speakers, but large state universities do. But at large state universities, the way that they bring in speakers is college students. It's the college students that make that decision. When I was in college, my budget was $60,000 a year to bring in speakers. And it was my decision. I would vote with my committee who I hired. And that was how speakers were brought in. I think our total budget was over $300,000 or $400,000.
Oh, wow.
We were managing a huge budget at the University of Illinois for activities and engagement. And so targeting those students is the way to do it, because students know how to get you on campus. But also the advisors they're on Facebook. And I know this because I sent my email list something saying I was going to be on the Jam TV show as a legal expert. And one of my college clients got the email and joined the live broadcast. It was like, hey, Ashley, your University of Tennessee fam is here. I'm like, okay. Yes. Who knew? I'd never really merged the two audiences, because you do think, okay, well, I have my college clients, I have this, but I sent my entire network the email like, hey, I'll be on live, all of you joined, and they joined. So you never know. You think corporate and you think a little bit more rigid, but I think it's the right idea to think of that creatively, because they're on Facebook.
And think about it. If everybody is targeting the decision maker, who's the next best? Or who has influence over the decision maker making a decision? So again, that requires you to be a little bit more creative.
It does. The other group you could target is administrators. So I've been contacted by several administrators who've been like, hey, my boss wants me to research X, Y, and Z. I came across your information. So there are ways to target, and we'll get into that more at the conference, specifically researching people to target and who to target depending on the audience you want and what your goals are for speaking. But what you're saying is spot on about the marketing and being creative. And you mentioned BombBomb. What is that?
BombBomb is it's mostly real estate agents use it. And they use it to like prospect for housing and stuff like that. And it's actually one of those tools that are very underutilized. Basically, it's an extension that you install on your Google Chrome. And you do a video, just like I'm doing right now. I could be like, hey, I could have sent you a video pitch for the podcast, right? I could have been like, hey, Ashley, I got a new book coming up. I would love to come and talk to your audience about this. Here's why. Here are some topics that I would love to speak on, and then hit send. And when you get the video, it looks like a video, but then when you click it, it's a video that plays in real time. It's crazy. It works. It is so amazing. You can also do it with Loom. Loom has that capability too, where you can record a video. As long as you have Gmail, you can embed a Loom video and it looks like a motion video. And then when people play it, it'll play as a video. So you can do it with Loom or BombBomb. So
that is awesome. Yeah. This is why you all listen to this podcast, because we only interview the best. And I'll tell you, Audria is actually the first person that pitched me to be on the show that I accepted. So traditionally for the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, I always choose the speakers. And most people that pitch me, it's not relevant and I don't accept. So you're the first person that's actually pitched to be on the show that I accepted, because I know your brand, I know your marketing, and I know how great you are at what you do. But if you are going to pitch people, make sure it's relevant, because our show, you guys, we only talk about things that make speakers money. That's it. The whole show. That is what the Speak Your Way to Cash brand is. How do speakers get paid more? Speakers and consultants and entrepreneurs. But how do they get paid more utilizing speaking? So her pitch was great. And so that's why she's here. But these tools that our guests drop, when they say Loom, Bomb, 3-point lighting, the camera, these are things that you can write down, and immediately after that you listen to this show or you watch this show, put in your Amazon cart and or on your Google Chrome extension and implement. Yes. And that is why I love what you do. I love your live videos. They're so action-packed and actionable. You don't hold back. And I love the podcast and the guests that we have on, because people can implement just from listening to a free podcast. This is good. This is good stuff. Basically, I hope you all got that. Okay.
And I also want to add this because it just popped into my mind.
Yeah, of course.
Quit downplaying virtual speaking.
Yes.
Most people give virtual speaking a C. Like, it doesn't have like, oh, you weren't on a stage. You weren't on a stage in front of thousands of people. So you can look like a junkie when you do live streams. And I'm like, no, the same way you would prepare for a real in-person speaking engagement is the same way you should show up for your live streams. I mean, think about it. This is also a form of broadcasting. We're literally broadcasting to an audience of people from all over the world who's listening to what we have to say. To me, that's amazing.
It is. And I think that people also believe that you don't get paid from virtual speaking engagements, and that's also false. So, my virtual speaking rates are typically higher due to COVID, and just due to licensing. But I typically get paid more when I speak virtually, because it's easier for them to buy the licensing to replay it to their audience for the next 6 months. Mm-hmm. So, you're still getting paid for it. It's still a service, and it's something that clients want. And if you can do it well and say, hey, I know COVID just happened. A lot of speakers are switching to virtual, but I've already done over 100 live streams within the past year. Your pitch is so much better. So live streaming is a great experience for now, the pivot that a lot of companies have had to have, which is now virtual.
Oh, you just dropped the nugget. Like, did you hear that? Licensing replays. I hope that didn't just go through y'all ear. That was hot.
Yeah. And you just write everything into your contract in the beginning. And you can even put, like, when you're sending out your invoices and everything, and you talk a lot about this in your book, think through your entire customer experience. When you send them that invoice or that proposal, you may just have a question on there that's like, hey, would you like to live stream this or have the replay or license it for the next 6 months for, $5,000 more or whatever you want to charge for it. Sometimes it's a lot more.
Right.
So, there's just so many things that you can do. So virtual, do not sleep on virtual. And having virtual speaking experience now, I think, is critical, and include those live streams and the fact that you can engage virtually.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Kirkwood here, and I know this is an amazing interview. And if you are someone who is interested in taking your speaking career to the next level, then do I have something for you? Okay, I need you to go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay. That's ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay. The link is also in the show notes, that you can grab the Speak Your Way to Cash live replay, which has 7 modules, a ton of information about how you can start speaking your way to cash. Now, this training is absolutely action-packed, phenomenal. It has additional resources. It has templates. It has a podcast pitch template, a college pitch template, something you can send to media outlets to get on television. It has everything you need to develop a sales strategy, a press strategy, and a plan to skyrocket your speaking career. And it is crazy affordable, okay? So head on over there right now, ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay, and grab your copy today. All right, let's get back to this interview. So that's key. There's so much that we could go through here.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about the book, Uncloned Marketing. Can you all see this? Okay, Uncloned Marketing. I had to get my camera settings perfect like Audria's. But Uncloned Marketing, tell us about why you wrote the book and why you're so passionate about the book. I could tell from the way you wrote it that you were passionate about getting this project out.
I felt like this book had to happen, particularly for small businesses. Of course, businesses of all sizes can read the book, but I wrote it with the intent of someone not having a huge marketing budget or a huge marketing team, or thinking that marketing was for the big people, right? And so one of the things that I personally wanted to focus on with the book is making sure that people knew why things weren't working anymore. I think that we get to a point in our business where people are like, I did something, but they can't like pinpoint why it stopped doing what it was doing, right? So for me, I'm just like, if I can give you a book that has everything that you need in it, and you literally don't have to guess why something didn't work, I felt like that would remove this stigma around businesses failing. Right. X amount of businesses failed after the first year. And I feel like we could really kill that statistic, because a lot of the times if someone is failing, I guarantee you it's because they don't know what made the failure happen. And by the time they do catch on to why it failed, it's too late. And so I feel like this book is going to bridge the gap between the unknown and the known. Now you can no longer be like, oh, I didn't know. Now I know why it didn't work. Now I know what to fix. And it can be a sense of confidence to re-energize your business again, because you know why things are not working. That was me. Like year after year, my businesses were failing left and right. I'm just like, I got good ideas. I'm dope. Why is this not working? And when I realized that marketing was the common denominator, right, in all things, baby, it was a whole other level, because now I knew why it wasn't working. And I think that's the worst feeling to have as a business owner, is to know you're doing all the things, but not know why things are not catching on. And I feel like marketing is always the thing that shows up, not only for myself, but for my clients as well.
It's so true. And my husband actually gets on me about this, because I'll launch a product, like we have Get the Tea on trademarks. Mm-hmm. It's a great product. Obviously, I'm a trademark lawyer. I wrote this is the best you're going to get in terms of you doing it yourself for $250 without paying me $2,500 to do your trademark. Right. But I don't have what you talk about in the book, which is the 20-step launch plan. No, I created it. I did it live for like 8 weeks and people loved it. And then I was just tired of showing up live every month. Yes. So okay, I'm going to make this a replay. And I just put it out there. And then I was like, okay, it's a replay. Go buy it. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Yeah. This product. And now every Friday I promote it through my social media. And whenever someone buys it on Friday, I tell my husband, I'm like, Chris, someone else bought this class. And he's like, well, why'd they buy it? I was like, so I posted about it. And he was like, why don't you do that more? And I'm like, exactly. Because he's posted about this same class every single day. Y'all know this class is
exhausting. Marketing your stuff is exhausting. Like right now, if I'm being honest, I'm sick of talking about my book. But it's necessary, right? Like, and I think that's the part you have to understand. Like, marketing is not about you. It's about who needs to discover it today. And if you're not talking about, think about how many new followers you get every day. Right. Yep. If you're averaging about 10 to new connections on LinkedIn, or, 5 to 6 new friend requests, or 10 to 100 new followers a week, that's 100 people or whatever that don't know what you sell. They just now found you. And I think you do them a disservice when you don't talk about it. So as much as we don't want to talk about it, it is so necessary.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and it's weird too, because we know it's good. And sometimes this is going to sound very arrogant. Do not hold this against me. But sometimes I'm just like, why do I have to tell this entire long story every time when you could literally just Google me at this point? And it's not that I don't want people, because I want people to get the value out of it. But sometimes I get fatigue. You talk about audience fatigue. I feel like I have business owner fatigue. It's like, I got to tell them again, I'm the best. Yeah. And then I have to prove it with all these videos. And I was, you talk about testimonials in your book. So this is so bad. I'm going through my email, trying to collect all my testimonials, because I'm in Abu's class as well. And I am going to start running ads. And I find this testimonial from a client. It's a 4-minute video. And she pours out her entire heart about services, how she loves it, how another lawyer quoted her thousands of dollars less. but she knew when she came to me, I basically told her what he was telling her was false. I was like, don't listen to that. I would rather not take your money if it's going to not go through the trademark. And she was like, because she told me no, I knew I couldn't go with that other lawyer. I have to hire her. And it worked out. And we got her mark and all that. I'm like, this is good. And then she talked about the class and how she took the class when she wanted to work with me. And I was like, see, this is the problem right here. I shouldn't be talking about it all the time. I should have more of these great testimonial videos from people who love me, who can say, look, this is why I work with her. Because I get the best clients from referrals.
Yes.
And referrals require testimonials.
To go back off what you were saying around the ads, I feel like when you're tired of talking about your product, let your ads talk about the product. Yep. Like if I want to take a week break off, I'm good because my ads are still saying, get the book, book. And I can still chill, but you still have to be deliberate in your marketing efforts.
You do. And there has to be more thought than just I'm putting out this product and it's good. Trust me, because I'm also guilty of something else you talk about, which is like, all right, we're having a conference. Link here. I try to, tell people and interview and do all these different things. And now with the new baby, I'm just like, Lord, I need to learn ads as quick as I can because I cannot do what I did for my first couple $100,000, which is all these live videos, which is a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
I did over 120 live videos last year.
And I've done about 800. So
in a year?
Like over the course of the past 2-3 years, yeah.
Oh my goodness, Audria, that is. So
I mean, if you go and look at my IGTV, I probably did about 30 or 40.
Oh, I did, and they're good too. It's good content there. So follow her on IGTV as well. That's a ton of work, and I have to like do my hair and all that, and like I had a baby 7 weeks ago, so I barely get dressed now. I wear pajamas almost every day. If I get dressed, I'm like, woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. You all need to get the book because I'm telling you, I don't promote anything I do not believe in. But I do believe in what Audria is talking about in this book. And even if there's one chapter where she talks about the 20 things your marketing plan should include, that is what me and my marketing operations person that I just hired are going to go through and just do that for the conference, for our various products, and then put it into action. Yeah. Because after you start making money, if you've made even $40,000, $20,000, it doesn't matter. You know how people have gotten you that money.
Yes.
And so if you can just systematize it, you're going to increase the profitability of your products and services. It's just work, but you do have to do it.
And it's fun. I always tell people marketing is like a party. It's your opportunity to let people know what you have. And if you get sick of talking about what you have, then maybe you might want to do some fun with the product, market it differently to keep it fresh and exciting. Right. Yes. So, yeah.
I 100% agree with that. And you have to think about all the people you're helping. So if this isn't your first time doing something and you have people who've already benefited from it, then that should keep you going. Because honestly, with COVID and new baby and everything else, I was thinking, am I really going to do another Speak Your Way to Cash live event? But this is our fourth one. Yeah. So, the people who've already attended have had such great reviews, and I don't do much one-on-one work with people for speaking anymore. So it's important, especially if you have a good product. If your product is bad, then don't read this book and then start marketing us as bad product. You know it's bad. It's bad. Just don't do it. Do not do it.
Don't ever find it in the garbage. Don't do that.
Don't do it. But if you have a good product and you're just, you get a little fatigued with it like me, or you need to just reinvent it, then get the book, learn how to market it, and blow up your business. But I'm excited about learning ads. I really am. I think that was the scariest part of it for me, but that's going to be good.
It's not going to be scary when you sitting at the crib and you getting all these sales while you watching TV and burping your baby. You're going to be like, what?
Yes, I know.
Today. Yes.
That is going to feel so good because I already, to this day, it's not even about the dollar amount, but if I'm just doing something else and I get that payment notification, it is just the best feeling ever. Like, yes, passive income. This is really good.
Yes.
So I really do like that. So I think that'll be great. And I've wanted to work with you for a while, so I may have to talk to you about some things.
Yeah, revisit me. Look,
Yeah,
the level up is real. The level up is real.
Yes, the level up is real. So you posted one day that you got to 7 figures in your business. And how did that feel? And what was the game changer from the 6 to the 7? Because some of the folks who come to our events and who listen, they're already making 6 figures, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. They're just trying to increase a particular income stream, which is speaking.
Right.
So for folks, but getting from 6, like 100,000 to, I feel like 500,000 and into $1 million is, I believe, a shift. So can you talk to us about that and what really changed that got you to that?
My mindset change. I feel like that was super pivotal. I think it's not as glamorous as people would like for it to be, but truly leveling up your mindset. I also feel like diversifying your circle, not hanging around and doing business with the same type of people, like diversifying who you even buy stuff from.
Yes.
Sometimes you can culturally be buying something from the same group of people, and it can limit your perspectives, the way you see life, and so on and so forth. And I also feel like having multiple ways for people to work with you. So having group type of programs, products, physical products, digital products, things like that. And I also would say that a big part of it was contribute to me charging a premium. I think it's very easy to get to 7 figures when you're charging a premium. I think a lot of people who have extensive background and knowledge and expertise don't really charge a lot. And it takes them so much longer to get to the same place someone else was, just because that person was willing to spend a little bit more money. So I think also having a premium pricing model around something in your business, everything you do from one-on-one to, group shouldn't all be $200. Like, you're not going to ever grow your business. So I definitely feel like increasing my prices has allowed me to do that as well.
And, I just want to say, you guys, what you said is so key about buying from different people and hearing from different people. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but I sometimes feel like with the era that we're in, people love learning from people who look cute, regardless of whether they have stability and standards. But one of the things that's really helped me was I determined this year I was focusing on landing 6-figure contracts, meaning one contract was 6 figures. But when I wanted to do that, I was like, man, I don't know anyone who is consistently landing 6-figure contracts. So I joined a program to do that, but I also did some marketing research, and I reached out. I went to Northwestern for law school, but I had never really leveraged the name, which is another big problem. And I was like, I know for a fact someone at Northwestern can help me with this. So I was reaching out to everyone who was like HR directors who went to Northwestern, and out of like 60, maybe 10 of them did calls with me. And when these women, they were senior HR leaders, most of them were HR directors, when they were saying for licensing the programs that I have, it should be $70,000, $80,000 a year. It should be $100,000 a year. And they were explaining to me what that would look like and what the other business owners they've worked with have done and who they've pitched and the pitches that they've accepted and how they've been contacted. It was a game changer. But it took for me, because my husband's big on, he tells me this. He's like, if you want to land 6-figure contracts, then you would have landed them, because whatever you want to do, you figure it out.
Yes.
He was like, are you even trying? You're not even trying. Have you pitched a 6-figure contract? Oh my goodness, get off my back. But he's right. He's right, because the quality is there. I've went to Northwestern. I've been in Forbes. I've done all these different things, worked at these big firms. There's no reason why when we start businesses, small business needs to mean small money.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't. The definition is 25 million or under. That's a small business. So, that mindset shift is important. And then when you do that shift, you're going to realize, man, if there's no one around me who can help me with this goal, I need a new circle, or at least need to interact with people.
Yeah.
But it takes a shift. And we landed a $60,000 contract recently. So that was great.
Woo.
We're close.
We're through. That's amazing.
Yeah, so we're close. So we are, changing our model, but we already had the assets and the experience. It was just a matter of, okay, well, how do I make it make sense? And now, as a Black woman creator in the era that we're in now, a lot of companies are trying to figure out, how do we amplify voices of those that have the experience and the credibility to get done what we need to get done? And companies should be hiring Black consultants.
Right, exactly.
Hey guys, Ashley Kirkwood here, and I just want to take a moment to invite you out to the Speak Your Way to Cash retreat. If you enjoy this podcast, then you will love the Speak Your Way to Cash 2020 retreat in October, taking place right outside Chicago, Illinois. This retreat is for speakers looking to grow their speaking businesses, land corporate or college clients, and skyrocket their earning potential as a speaker. The in-depth sessions at this multi-day retreat will leave you understanding exactly the high-level client acquisition strategies that I use to land corporate clients. You'll also know the exact steps you need to be taking to grow your current business. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. The sessions are amazing. We talk about selling your signature speech, and we actually have time to go over the techniques of speaking. So if you want to become a better speaker as well as a higher paid speaker, then you should come out. We have another session called TEDx Secrets. Bring your laptops. We are actually going to be looking up and applying to TEDx Talks at the retreat. This session will be critical if you're someone who wants to land a TEDx Talk. Client secrets. You'll hear from actual clients about what they want from speakers just like you, and selling success. We cannot do a retreat without talking about selling. But here's the session that I'm most excited about. We are going to do a vision organizational chart party. That means we are going to have not just vision boards, but vision org boards. We are going to map out how your speaking organization should be staffed, what you want that to look like, and how to use global outsourcing in a way that lets you fund the positions in your company that are currently open. So it's for you if you're ready to level up. If so, meet me in Chicago in October. Reserve your seat now. I'm only taking 30 speakers on this retreat. So go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/2020 retreat. And the best part is you can get early bird pricing now of $550, or you can reserve your seat for just $75 down and make payments until the retreat. That's right. You can either pay in full and get early bird pricing of $550 for the entire 2-day experience, or you can reserve your seat for just $75 down. Whatever you decide to do, make sure you're in the room. It's going to be impactful, and I'm ready to help you start speaking your way to cash in person in Chicago in October. Again, the website is ashleynicolekirkwood.com/2020 retreat. See you soon. Can't wait, guys. This is a Black issue that a lot of companies are dealing with, especially in the D&I space, which I work in. But that is key. The mindset piece is key. Diversification of the products is key. And then how did you find new people to work with? So once you do the mindset shift, what was your process? Because that was my process for figuring out, what do I do? How do I package this? Finding new people. I use my alumni network. Right. But if someone doesn't have that, how do you find the people you should be working with?
I always put myself in uncomfortable situations. Culturally, we don't want to buy from people outside of our race sometimes. And I feel like sometimes just by default, they know more. Just because their life experiences are different, they grow up differently, they don't have the same challenges that we do as African-American people. And so I think also exposing yourself to different education systems, also being open to learning different things. Like I watch a lot of documentaries, which expose me to new things to search on Google, or coming up with new keyword strings to be able to search, or watching different types of content, or reading different types of news or books. Diversifying the books that you read. Like there's so many ways to kind of get your brain going in a diversity way. That diversity inclusion thing also applies to us. We also have to be willing to diversify and go into different areas and learn from different people. So for me, I think like knowing that, I guess you could say going 10 degrees outside of my circle is when I started to find different things. And also, you have reached out of your circle when you don't see nobody that looks like you around. That's how you've went as far as you can go. And then obviously as you develop there, you can go and do that even more. So,
And I think my comfort zone is, of course, around creators that look like me. That's all. That's everyone's comfort zone. That's the reason why corporate America is dominated by white people. They hire other white people because they refer their friends and family. Traditionally, that's just how that works. But I do think that for myself, this has come up recently because people have been talking a lot about, being a Black business. I never considered my law firm a Black firm. I've always considered it the best firm for entrepreneurs. So when you change from like Black to best, Black sometimes is best. Right. But when you change your mindset, it's like, I want to be the best. So I have to go to who is seen as the best currently, whether true or not, and get around them. I think that'll really help. And you get too competitive when everything looks like you. Everyone looks like you. Everything looks like you. I think one of the issues I found, speakers will come to me and they're like, I want to get paid speaking engagements. These are the people that, and when I ask them, send me the 5 people whose careers you admire. Typically they're people that, comfort level folks.
Right.
And they're really their peers. When I'm looking at the person they admire's experience and their experience, a lot of times, like those are your colleagues. That's not your reach. Those are your colleagues. So if you want to get out of that competitive nature and the copying and all of that, don't look left to right. Look way up. Look way up. Look at Apple. Look at Cirque du Soleil. Look at some of the companies that Audria quotes in her book. Because once you look up and you start trying to be the best, not just the best within any particular category, women, race, or anything else, you're going to really start pushing yourself. You're going to hire the best copywriter. You're not going to care if he's black, white, or green. Exactly. You're going to get it done. And then once you're there and you have the capital, then you're going to hire and promote and do what you can from within. And that will probably be from your community, as it should be.
Right.
But Black is amazing. Best is what we are shooting for. I don't want to be seen as, the best Black firm in wherever. I want to be seen as the best firm, the best option, period. Right. Which is how we should be seen, because that's how we're operating. But I agree. Look around at that circle. Look around at that circle. Right. Someone said, look up. Okay. Yes.
I mean, because we do tend to do that. We tend to look left and right. And even we also network down. We don't network up. We don't go into bigger rooms. A big shift could be stop going to the $200 events and go to the $1,000 events.
Yes.
I'm going to the $1,000 event and go to the $5,000 events. Yes. I promise you that room might get smaller and smaller, but it's probably the people who make the most decisions of all the rooms. So it's about also knowing to invest at a higher level, but also put yourself in different experiences and environments that are not normal.
Yes, that is such a key point, because I've gone to a conference and the tickets I think were $300, but I did the VIP day, which was an extra $1,000. Going to that VIP day probably produced $15,000 for my business immediately after the conference, because the people I was networking with were so much better. There weren't many lawyers in the room. They were looking for someone who was at their same level of investment. So that is key. And it's not, you don't always pay to do those things because you need the information, but getting in the room with those individuals. Yeah. Yes. That has been amazing for me. Doing accelerators, I choose the accelerator based on who's on the board, not who's in the accelerator. I want to see if the members of the board are women or men that I look up to and can network with and do things with. So that's critical.
Super, super duper important.
Yeah, really, really important. So this has been a great conversation. Yes. I am so excited that you're speaking at the Speak Your Way to Cash 2-day event in October. I definitely want to make sure that people attend that event. But how else can they connect with you?
So people can find me at audriarichmond.shop or .com, and I'm Audria Richmond across all social media platforms.
Awesome. Well, Audria, thank you so much for your time. She will be at you'll see more from her there, and follow all her social media channels. Read Uncloned Marketing. It's really good. It comes out. When does it? The release date is July 20th, right?
My birthday.
Okay, awesome. July 20th, but you can pre-order now. She's already sold over 1,000 copies. And for those of you who don't know, that's huge, because I think the average book in its first year, if it's a bestseller, what is that, like 3,000 or something?
That's typically the 1,000 it's like 200 in the entire lifetime of an author. So we had 1,300. We're super close to 1,400. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Listen to those numbers. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so quick. It's not even out yet. So, so these are just pre-order numbers. And honestly, your excitement around your book was why, I knew I was getting an advanced copy, but I just bought one anyways. I was like, well, I want to get in those numbers. Like, there's 1,400 people. So people don't buy unless you believe. You do have to go hard and believe and do what you need to do, because the excitement around this book launch, it made me buy 30 copies for all the members of the event. Like, I was like, yes, come on. Let me buy 30 copies. Let me get in here. I wanted to be a part of it. So you've done a phenomenal job building an uncloned brand. I appreciate the information you put out. And I just know you're going to pour heavy into the Speak Your Way to Cash event members and attendees and speakers. So I'm excited for that. So thank you again.
For having me. This was fun. And I'm glad to know my pitch made it. So that's good to know.
You made it Speak Your Way to Cash podcast history. The first pitch we accepted.
Yes.
So no, this is great. This is really good. But yeah, we'll stay in touch. And then give us your website one more time.
It's audriarichmond.shop or audriarichmond.com.
Awesome. And for your .shop, you use Shopify for that. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Awesome. And listen, look at her process. When you buy the book, go buy it. It's worth buying it just so you can see how excellent the whole process is. So buy the book. You're going to get all these emails. Everything's branded. It looks amazing. So it's top notch, guys. Top notch.
Thank you.
Yes, for sure. So thank you guys so much for listening to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. We did a live broadcast for this one in the group because Audrey is special. And I wanted to make sure everyone saw her wonderful setup and got her book. You can join the free Facebook group. Just go on Facebook and type in Speak Your Way to Cash. You can attend the October event by going to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/2020 retreat. ashleynicolekirkwood.com/2020 retreat. But we will see you guys next time. And thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. Wasn't that interview amazing? If you're anything like me, you have pages full of notes. But here's the thing. Before you head out, I want you to go to facebook.com and join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. That is where I am. That's where a ton of other speakers are, a ton of other people who listen to the show. We all congregate there and chat. And it's 100% free. Now, if you're ready to take your speaking career to the next level, I have two ways for you to do that. One, you can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SWTC live replay and pick up the live replay. That training is 7 modules, chock full of information. It's crazy. Go over there, read all about it. Or if you want a more personal experience, you already know that you want to be a speaker. You're ready to fully commit and you want someone to walk you through it and save you tons of time Googling and doing it on your own, then book a VIP day with me. You can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com, scroll down until you see the VIP day section and get more information on that there. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. Please do not forget to leave us a review. That is how we keep this train rolling and get some of the best speakers in the world to get on this show. So please, please, please leave a review. Shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and Facebook in the Speak Your Way to Cash group, Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show. And I'd be more than happy to chat with you and say hi. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome day.